And we are live. Hello, everyone who's just going to be joining us. I'm Darby.
I'm Brooke.
And we're back together to do You've Got Questions?
We've got answers.
I always am afraid I'm going to say that wrong. I'm going to say You've got answers? We've got questions.
Nah.
No, we're here. We're live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. If you have questions, we're going to be live for about 50 minutes. We're going to try to answer as many questions as we can. While we are waiting for people to jump in, here's the format. You're going to put your question in the chat. I'm going to read it. I'm going to do like a dramatic reading, and then Brooke's going to answer the question. It's so good. But real quick, today is kind of the last day to submit an assignment before what we call auto drop. So let's just kind of talk through that for anybody who's not familiar with what auto drop is and why we want to make sure they submit an assignment.
Yeah, definitely. So auto drop is something that BYU Pathway does if there is a student that would be classified as non-participating. So if you have not submitted an assignment within the first 2 weeks of class, you will be dropped from this term. The reason why we do that is because we want to make sure that you are set up for success, that you have the time and resources you need to really be enrolled and ready for the semester. So if you have not submitted your assignment for week 1 or week 2, even your gathering assignment that you attended, that would count. So if you don't do that before the net, you got 13 and a half hours. So if you don't do that by midnight, May 6th, you will be
and that is Mountain Daylight Time.
Mountain Daylight Time, yes.
UTC -6.
Yes. So you've got about 13 hours to go in and submit an assignment. So if you haven't done that already, please make sure you go in and do that so that you can continue on with this term.
Okay, we have some shout outs. We have hello from the Philippines. There was a Mozambique over on Instagram.
I love it.
We are glad that all of you are here. So this is how these lives work. I read the questions. Brooke gives the answers. You just put your question in the chat. We're going to be here for about 50 minutes till just a little bit after 11 o'clock Mountain Daylight Time. So put your question in the chat if you have something you've been wondering about BYU Pathway or something that you've gotten stuck on. We want to try to help you answer that. And then we also wanted to let people know that today is the last day to submit an assignment. So make sure that you log into Canvas and that you submit an assignment so that you don't get dropped, because we want to know that you're participating in your classwork. So, okay.
And if you have any extenuating circumstances, there's things going on, please be in touch with your instructor as well, so that they can be there to support you. Your service missionaries also want to help you.
Awesome. So we have somebody asking a question. They said they've been locked out for a while. And they can't kind of figure out what's going on, Brooke. So
last number to do finances, and I don't have any pending amounts. Okay. So bizarre. I'm so sorry that that's happening to you. Can you send us a direct message with this information? And if you remember your student ID, we have folks that are standing by in our direct messages and can submit a ticket to help resolve and figure out what's happening here. We want to resolve this issue for you.
We are really sorry. That's really frustrating. And Brooke and I are not the technical team.
No.
We are the marketing team. And so we like to come and answer as many questions as we have. And that's the quickest way we can try to get you some help. Okay, so the next question just asks about how to get a hold of somebody for advising.
Yes. So you can go to byupathway.edu/APPT to book an appointment. If you're a current student, the best thing to do is to work with your mentor, and your mentor can book an appointment with an advisor for you. Now we're still close to the start of the term, and so it might be a week or 2 out before someone is available to meet with you. So please, if that's the case, have a little patience as we're trying to help, thousands and thousands of students. But your question and your need is important to us. So please submit for an appointment. And if it takes a little while to get you, we're sorry. We're adding people all the time to try to alleviate that stress. We want to help. So if you have a specific question, we may be able to answer it here. Feel free to put that in the chat. We'll do our best to answer.
And kind of the same question here. Is there an email or some way? What's the best way to contact? So if they miss the answer, what's the answer for that, Brooke?
So if you are an enrolled student, working with your mentor is going to be the best option to get started. Otherwise, you can send us a direct message on social media. So here on Facebook, there's going to be a blue button that says message, and you can send us a message there, and a member of our team can either answer your question or submit a ticket on your behalf.
Okay, these are so great. So if you're just joining us, put your question in the chat, and we will try to answer that as quickly as we possibly can. Hey, this question says, hey, at one point I was asked to create a BYU ID. What will I do with that?
Yeah, so if you are doing a BYU Idaho program, you will need to have a BYU Net ID. Sorry, I was reading it as BYU Idaho ID, but that might be a BYU ID.
It might be, yeah.
And so all of the ecclesiastical endorsements are done through a BYU system, and that name is the same. Your username would be the same across BYU Idaho, BYU Pathway, and BYU. So mine is the same, even though I've been a student at multiple church schools.
Okay. Hey, I'm interested in joining. I'm a senior sister. How do I join BYU Pathway?
I love it. We would love to have you join. So we right now are enrolling for fall semester. So you're going to go to byupathway.edu. In the upper right-hand corner, there is a gold button that says apply for free. You will click on that gold button. It will then take you to our admissions page. You can learn a little bit more about BYU Pathway and see if starting with Pathway Connect or starting with online certificates and degrees first is best for you. So again, byupathway.edu, click on that gold button, apply for free, and it will take you to our admissions page. If you know which program you want to join, just click apply now, and that will take you to a spot where you can begin your application. And then one thing to note, if you have previously taken Pathway Connect, you're going to want to click on the returning student form to get started. So if you've enrolled at one point and started classes, you'll use that returning student link. If you're a new student, you'll click that new student begin application button, and it's going to take you to the church's single sign-on system. So if you already have a church account with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you will log in using that. If you don't have a church account or you're not a member of the church, you can create one for free, and it'll walk you through the steps there.
Awesome. Okay, we have some great questions coming in here, Brooke. We're going to take some from Facebook for a minute.
Okay, great.
Hey, if I can't receive like a confirmation email for Pathway Connect, what can they do? So maybe they don't have access to an email. What kind of steps would we suggest?
So you do need to have an email in order to enroll in Pathway Connect. You can get a free one from Google or Yahoo online very easily. So I would go to google.com to set an email up and use that to get started. If you have questions, you can also send us a direct message on Facebook. You can also book an appointment with an enrollment counselor by going to byupathway.edu/APPT. And so you will need to have an email address, but if you're having trouble, like if you've already enrolled and you're thinking, I should have a confirmation email, but I don't, check your spam folder. So sometimes when it's a new email, when you haven't interacted with emails from a certain provider before, sometimes it'll go in your junk or your spam. So make sure that you've checked there as well.
Awesome. We just have a shout out from Iraq.
Hi.
Hello. We're so glad to hear where everybody is from.
Yeah. If you're studying, tell us what certificates you're working on. And
we would love to hear. So how can people in the English part of Cameroon register for BYU Pathway Worldwide when the church has not reached there yet?
So the church is established in Cameroon. One of our boss actually just got done being a mission leader in Cameroon and Gabon.
That is right.
And so the church is established in Cameroon. And if there are people that are speaking English in Cameroon and want to join BYU Pathway, all they need to do is go to byupathway.edu to get started. It's quite easy. Depending on your internet connection and speed, it will take anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour to fill out the application. and you can pick up where you left off. So if you don't have the time or internet bandwidth to finish the application in one sitting, you can come back to it.
I love it. Okay, we've got 40 minutes
Yes.
to try to answer as many questions as
Let's
we
do this.
possibly can. And we have a few. We're going to answer one from Instagram. Says, hey, I finished Pathway Connect last September with a GPA that wasn't quite high enough for Enzyme.
Yep.
They told me to retake 101 to help raise my GPA in order to apply. Would the 7-week block, and that got cut off, I'm not sure. Would the 7-week block work? So can they take the 7-week 101 if they had taken it when it was longer?
Yes. So if you took Pathway Connect 101 and it was 14 weeks long and you want to retake it, you can start with 101 and redo the 7-week one. So, and I would say whatever Pathway Connect,
whichever class of the 3 classes was the lowest.
Yeah,
right?
I would retake that one. Yep.
Yeah.
So you can absolutely, the 7-week version of PC 101 will work.
Love it. Keep the questions coming. For those of you just joining, I'm Darby.
And I'm Brooke.
This is called You've Got Questions.
We've got answers.
Where I read questions and Brooke gives answers. She gives 90% of the answers, if not 95% of the answers. That's, you know what? That's okay.
It's all right. We all have our strengths.
Okay. Next question says, I know I'll be taking 2 classes per semester to be on track for graduation in 3 years. What is the expectation for religion courses? I know it is suggested to take one every semester.
Yeah. So one point of clarification. So you actually need to take 2 classes per block or 4 classes per semester.
Yeah. It's tricky because the language has changed a little bit. Yeah.
Yep. So you'll need to take 4 classes in one semester in order to graduate in that 3-year time period. And it is recommended that you take a religion class each semester. And if life is crazy and you've got a lot going on, please make sure that you have the time and bandwidth to succeed and to do well. We have friends and family members that during wild times of the year, they just take one class and it's their religion class. So they're still working toward their degree, but they have more flexibility and freedom.
Okay, I'm going to point out that real quick, and I'm going to get our next question going. If you're just joining us, put your questions in the chat. We'll try to answer them as quickly as we possibly can. Sometimes it can take around 10 minutes. If you feel like you have to jump off and you can't stay, this will be recorded and saved on both Facebook and YouTube, where they will be easy to search for your answers, and we'll put them up so you can find them. All right, Brooke, do you want to go for that one?
Yeah. So Francis, that's not something that I was aware of, but they should still, BYU Pathway is approved to operate in Cameroon. And to my knowledge, it's not distinct by language. So if the folks that just go to byupathway.edu in Cameroon, they should be eligible to enroll without issue, is my understanding.
So if somebody has a problem enrolling, what should they do?
Send us a direct message and we'll investigate further.
Okay. Fabulous. Okay, we're going to keep rolling with questions. Thank you, everyone who are throwing a lot of these questions in the chat for me, which is fantastic. Okay, so it's just someone kind of asking the best way to get a hold of us if they are having some issues.
Yeah, so if you are already enrolled, your mentor is going to be the best person to talk with. And your mentor, you can talk with them on WhatsApp, via text message, on the phone, Facebook Messenger. So really whatever means of communication is best for you. If you've just started and you're not sure who my mentor is, in the lower right-hand corner of the website, there's a button that says, need help? Click here. You can go into...
You can go and you can select which class you're in or who you are.
Yep.
So it's hard to see. You can't see it here, but it says like I'm in Pathway Connect or I'm in my degree.
Yep.
You put your name in and your email, and then you can find out who your mentor is. All right, so we're going to move on to our next question. There's some syncing issues with Degree Planner, somebody says. Do you know of an issue with that, Brooke?
It's been ongoing, unfortunately, with Degree Planner. And so we don't have any answers or resolution right now other than to just try to be patient and to work with your mentor. Yeah. I'm sorry that that's happening. It's really frustrating for us too when we see those issues and problems that students are having. We want to resolve those as quickly as possible.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to keep going through. We have some Facebook questions now. Is there a break at all between classes?
Yeah. So depending on the semester. So when you're going from 101 to 102, there is not going to be a break. Those are happening in the same semester. And so right now they're just sort of, you finish one on a Friday, you start the next one on a Monday. But between 102 and 103 right now, you're going to have at least a week break. In some instances, it's 3 weeks, and in others right now it's 7 weeks. So you will have a break between classes. But you won't have one between 101 and 102.
Yeah.
So in most instances, you will get to have a break between semesters. But between Pathway Connect 101 and 102, you won't have a break.
Yeah. And you already talked about this, the larger break in July.
Yep.
August.
So class semesters run January to April. And then there is a week break between the next semester starting later in April going to July. And then there is a 7-week break between the July semester and the September semester.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So a follow-up. So it's 1 religion course and 3 other classes per semester to graduate.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So they could take like a religion class and a harder class and then 2 harder or, 2 core classes. But the religion's one of those 4.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Great follow-up. All right. Keep the questions coming. We have quite a few in the queue. We have a shout out from DRC Kinshasa. Hello. Okay. So how does the endorsement work? I mean, I'm in PC 103 and I begin the application in the first week, and it seems the bishop has not received any message so far for the interview.
So sometimes the system, we have found if bishops don't have certain notifications turned on, they might not see it. So our recommendation is to get with your ward or branch secretary. And so get with the executive secretary for your ward or branch, and then they can schedule an appointment with your bishop for you to get that ecclesiastical interview started.
Yeah. So, and when you are doing in PC 103, when you're doing like the apply to BYU Idaho or Ensign College, there is like a button you click that should send it over.
Yep.
And so if you've done that and they haven't seen it, like Brooke said, set up an appointment and get that scheduled, because it will be in their leader and clerk tools. They just might not see the notification. But it should be there. If you did your part, it should be there.
Yep.
But if you have problems, send us a direct message. We'll try to walk you through any other steps. We want to make sure that you don't miss that window. Luckily, you have a lot of time to work through that. So, and we will be doing many more lives between then.
Yes.
Okay. So the next question says, hey, if I transfer to Ensign or BYU Idaho, I'm wondering if they're meeting in person based on the question, can I still graduate in 3 years?
Yeah. So Victoria, only the online programs available through BYU Idaho and Ensign College are eligible for the 3-year program. And so if you transition to be a campus student, you will need to take the 30 credits worth of electives. So when you stay with BYU Idaho or Ensign College online through BYU Pathway, you're eligible to graduate in those 3 years.
Awesome. And for everyone putting questions in the chat, we just try to answer these in order, so we don't try to skip any. So just give us a minute to kind of get to all the questions. Okay. Okay. We answered our question about Cameroon. Hey, can I still apply for next semester? So for fall, yeah. Applications are open.
They sure are.
They are.
BYUpathway.edu to get started.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to drop a class for health reasons. I haven't been able to connect with anyone to do this. Do you know how to drop a class or what the best way to get a hold?
I don't know how to do that. So Caroline, I would check with your mentor and then you can send us a direct message and a member of the team will look into that. But that's a little more technical than we're aware of.
Yeah.
So we're sorry that you're having health issues though. We hope that things improve.
Does the introductory certificate taken in Pathway Connect count towards the first certificate?
It does. Yep. So that's the reason why we have you do that introductory certificate during Pathway Connect, so that you have the opportunity to have that transition to BYU Idaho and Ensign College, and you're already well on your way to that first certificate.
Fabulous. Okay, we just have a bunch more Facebook that I want to get to. Can the English as an international language EIL certificate be used as the first and second certificates required for the bachelor's? Now, I have no idea.
So we don't have English as international language. We have a TEFL, Teaching English as a Foreign Language certificate. And it can be used as one of the 3 certificates for a bachelor's degree. So if that if the EIL that you're referencing is available or earned outside of the BYU Pathway ecosystem, depending on where or how it was earned, those credits may transfer over, but they may come in as electives or match a couple of required classes. But if you're referencing the Teaching English as a Foreign Language certificate, that absolutely can be one of the 3 certificates toward your bachelor's degree.
Okay, real quick follow-up on dropping a class. Do you know if contacting the professor is the right way to go if they have an issue with the class? Okay. And then we have a shout out from, I don't know.
John.
Lumbashi. Hello.
Awesome. Thanks for being one of our missioners. We can't do this without you guys.
We love it. And we love you
So
sharing that you are here. Okay. We are going to keep rolling here. So what's the process for transferring religion credits from a local institute to BYU Pathway, and who should be contacted?
Awesome. So, Ray, there's going to be a couple of different options. So if the classes that you took at a local institute were for college credit, those will go in and be part of your religion classes.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing is, they have to be taken for college credit. You couldn't have just gone and attended as a local participant,
which is what I did back in the day. I was just there for the social.
There for fun.
So I had to go back and take all of my religion classes.
Yep.
Okay, fabulous. Okay, can I take an extra class? Can I take 5 classes to graduate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a maximum number of credits somebody can take?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
So it's really based on what you feel you are capable and confident in earning and succeeding in.
I know on campus it's about 18. After 18, you have to get special permission. So it's probably in somewhere in there is safe.
Yeah.
If you feel like you have bandwidth for an extra class. Okay, and then we had somebody kind of mentioning they're frustrated their mentor wasn't able to connect with them.
Okay. So in your student portal, we want to know if your mentor is not doing their job. If your mentor is unresponsive, uncommunicative, not helpful, we want to know that. And so in your student portal, if you log in, you can go to the little person icon, and you'll be able to submit a complaint about your mentor so that we can make sure that the mentors are really resolving concerns. They're doing what they're being paid to do.
Yeah.
So we want to know if they're not working.
Hey, I'm from Uganda. How can I join?
I love it. So, Ivan Mandy, you're going to go to byupathway.edu, and in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to click the gold button that says apply for free. And then once you are there, it'll take you to our admissions page. You can learn a little bit more about BYU Pathway and getting started. And then if you click on that gold apply now button, that's where you can start a new application.
Right here. So, and if you happen to be a returning student, you're going to come down here if you've been a student in the past.
Yep. But we would love to have you.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, I'm Darby.
I'm Brooke.
This is called You've Got Questions.
We've got answers.
We'll be here for about 25 more minutes trying to answer as many questions as we have. If we answer all the questions, we'll leave a little bit early. If you need to rewatch this, we'll have it on YouTube and Facebook, and you can go back and rewatch our live.
Yep.
Okay, so next question says, hey, do students graduate with cap and gown before certificate and degree through BYU Pathway? So caps and gowns are for degree earning, so associates and bachelor's degrees and anything beyond, but I mean, we only go up to bachelor's degree.
Yep.
So for Pathway Connect, we have completer ceremonies, which are, that's very much something to celebrate, but we usually do not have caps and gowns for those.
Yep.
And those are usually just done kind of local level.
Yep. Those are done locally with your stake or ward. Sometimes just your gathering will have a small celebration.
Love it. Okay, we're going to keep rolling here. Okay, so this is asking about how to get their certificate. They just finished up with the social media marketing certificate, and they want to know how to get that certificate.
Awesome. So that certificate is, there's 2 things. So one, the certificate will be immediately available in your student portal. And so when you log into your student portal, you should be able to see that social media marketing certificate and be able to download a PDF version of it. You can have that printed locally or share online. And then a physical copy of your certificate will come in the mail, and that will just take a while. So it usually takes, depending on where you live, anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks for the physical certificate to come in the mail.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So just a little explanation. Cameroon's kind of considered 2 parts a little bit. but
Yeah.
I don't know that we have a restriction based on
No.
that.
We don't.
And
Okay. So, Francis, as far as we understand, and I'll ask for further clarification, you're eligible to enroll. So, if you go to BYUpathway.edu, you should be able to
put
get
in
started.
your country.
Put in
Yeah.
your country and put in your address. You should be able to start.
Yeah.
So
We're going to need to ask a little bit because we do not know all the political dynamics
We don't.
of Cameroon. So
I'm just making myself a little note.
I'm going to save that one. All right. The next question says, hey, how do you apply for the Hebra J Grant tuition discount? I mean, what are the requirements? So that deadline for this semester has already passed.
Yes.
Hebra J Grant tuition discount, but it's really easy. When you do go to apply for that, you're just going to log into your student portal. So like you're going to log in as a student. It's kind of where you see your coursework. The coursework that you have is your, taking Pathway Connect. And you, there should be a banner and a prompt that says apply for the Hebra J Grant tuition discount. You watch like a couple of videos, you answer some questions and read some passages of text. It takes about 30 minutes, and that's all you need to do. And that will open up again for the fall semester as we get closer to that date.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any other questions, please let us know. It's really easy though. I've done it myself. Okay, so let's look what we have next. Okay, so okay.
And I'm just messaging a colleague right now about the Cameroon thing.
I just missed I'm just putting a few more questions in my queue. So if you're just joining us, I'm Darby, and this is Brooke. This is called You've Got Questions, We've Got Answers, where we try to answer all of your questions. The thing to know today is that it's the last day to submit an assignment. So if you've already registered and you're a student, you need to log into Canvas, which is that learning system that you're going to take all of your coursework in, and you need to submit an assignment. This can be really easy. If you're taking Pathway Connect, this can just be like saying that you went to a gathering. That counts as doing your homework. Obviously, you don't want to get too behind, so you want to do all of that coursework. But if you need to submit something by today, that's the easiest thing to submit.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you didn't go to your gathering, you can still submit it. It still counts as a submitted assignment. So that's the deadline for today that we wanted everybody to know about. That's by midnight, Mountain Daylight Time, or UTC -6. Okay, we have a few more questions here. Brooke and I will be here live for about another 20 minutes. And we are, okay, I think I missed a couple. Okay, so this question from Mark says, hey, will I lose the discount if I did Pathway Connect and I apply to be a campus student? But if I don't like campus and want to come back online, will I lose my discount? So the discount does not apply while on campus, but it does not mean you're ineligible if you are an online student.
Yep.
Yeah, because once you do Pathway Connect, that just qualifies you for that discount.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
See, you know more than you say.
I know more than I say. I know all the answers. I was gonna let Brooke answer all of them. Okay. Do you only answer questions for BYU Pathway? I'm in BYU Idaho through BYU Pathway. Nope, we know a lot of the BYU Idaho questions. Yeah. Also, we don't know everything because we are not in the curriculum, but we'll try to do our best. So you can ask those questions. Okay. I have missed a few, Brooke.
Okay.
So let's keep going. I'm interested in the family history program, and I can't seem to find what degree it is under in the academic catalog.
So it is an associate's degree in family history research. And if you're interested in going into a bachelor's degree, it's available under professional studies. So we offer 2 certificates and an associate's degree in family history research. So 3 credentials are available.
Perfect. Okay. Do you know why BYU Pathway certificates are not recognized in certain parts of Africa, like Togo, for example?
So we do not, BYU Pathway, BYU Idaho Ensign College does not have localized recognition in country, but they are U.S. accredited certificates and degrees. And so most places around the world will look on that favorably. You'll be able to get a remote job with a US-based company with US credentials. And so while it's not individually recognized in Togo, US degrees are looked on favorably throughout the world.
Awesome. Mark says, thank you for answering his
Our
question.
pleasure.
Mark, I know I had some questions during the devotional the other day. We saw those too. And yeah, so we love to answer questions. We don't know every answer, but we sure try as hard as we can.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to jump ahead. I'm currently enrolled in the Applied Technology with Enzyme.
Awesome.
I took 2 institute classes while doing Pathway Connect, and I've registered for 4 courses this semester. Should I add a religion course, and where can I find those?
So you can add a religion class if you want. That should be part of your school catalog options. But you also, the way it works out, I think you have at least 1 semester where you don't have to take a religion class based on the number of credits needed. And so you could count this as your sort of off semester for a religion if you wanted to.
I love it. Okay. Keep the questions coming. I'm currently using the BYU Idaho portal. I think this was kind of asking, because we were talking about the portal earlier. How do I switch to the BYU Pathway portal?
I honestly don't know. I'm sorry. We're not, we work in marketing, so we're not as tech savvy.
I think it's when you go, like if you go to our website and you go to log in, sign in the upper right hand corner, it gives you the sign in options. One of them's BYU Pathway. I believe one of them's BYU Idaho. I might be wrong.
So one is if you're enrolled in Pathway Connect, the other if you're in BYU Idaho or Ensign College.
Yes, so that might be where that comes in to sign. I wish we knew that answer.
But if you want to send us a direct message, we can have members of our team look into that for you.
Okay, keep the questions coming. We have a couple more. Okay, we answered that question. This is a question about going on campus to BYU Hawaii and kind of like the relationship we have with BYU Hawaii and kind of who that's for, Brooke.
Awesome. So our relationship with BYU Hawaii is really for those that are from Asia, Asia North, the Philippines, or the Pacific areas of the church. And so if you finish Pathway Connect, you'll receive preferred admission and preferred iWork placement. And so once you finish Pathway Connect, you'll need to go to BYU h.edu to start your application to BYU Hawaii. And then on there, you'll have a chance to know if you've done Pathway Connect or not.
Awesome. Okay, if you're just joining us, I'm Darby. This is Brooke.
Hi.
This is called You've Got Questions, We've Got Answers. The questions are kind of slowing down, which is great. We'll get to your question pretty quickly now. And then if they kind of die off and quiet down, we will take a break. Okay, so the next question says, hey, I'm currently studying hospitality and tourism. I wanted to know what degree I am working on.
I'm looking that up right now because that one I'm not as familiar. I want to say it's business, but I'm not certain.
And I'm going to show you where you can look on the website to kind of dig in case you don't know or you haven't been there before. So if you go to our website and you go to certificates and degrees, you will be able to look over probably the degree list is where we want to go, right, Brooke?
Yeah.
Okay, did you figure out which one it is?
So if you go on view all certificates and degrees, if you click that button and then scroll down to hospitality and tourism, it'll be on the right column.
There it is.
And then you can learn a little bit more about this certificate that's offered through Ensign College. And then if you scroll down a little further, you can learn more about why you might want to choose this certificate, what some of the outcomes or potential employment opportunities. And then you can see the program requirements, and it builds into the Applied Business Management degree. And the Applied Business Management degree is available through BYU Idaho. So one thing to note, this certificate is available through Ensign College, but the degree is BYU Idaho.
It's a little confusing, we know.
So sometimes you might go, wait a second. But the really cool thing about it is that BYU Idaho, BYU Pathway, and Ensign College work really closely together. And so it is a seamless transition to get a certificate from one university and a degree from the other.
So they don't need to do anything, right? Okay. We hope that answers your question, and that if you ever want to look up kind of what's expected in the class that's coming up or what it kind of fits into, like that question, you can go right to our homepage, and I think it says certificates and degrees right up there at the top. Okay, so next question is about certificates and degrees again. Do we know if there are going to be any new ones? They don't really tell us.
No, we find out very, very soon before you guys do. So we are not aware of any new degree options coming online.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So awesome. And thank you, Ray, for jumping in. It's great when everybody helps in the comments.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. Okay, let me see if there's any over here on Instagram for us. Brooke, why don't you talk about the deadline today?
So today is the deadline to submit an assignment for Pathway Connect 101. So if you are a 101 student and you have not submitted an assignment yet, if you don't do so in the next 13 hours, you're going to get dropped from the semester. So we want to make sure as many students as possible that are interested in continuing for the semester are aware of this, and they make sure to submit an assignment by tonight. It could be an assignment for your gathering. It could be an assignment for your actual PC 101 class. And so it's fairly simple to do so, but we want to make sure that you go in and submit one of those assignments. If you don't submit one before tonight, you'll be dropped from this semester. You'll be able to re-enroll for fall, but we drop folks who aren't participating because we want to make sure if it's not the right time for them that they're not held to financial standards.
Awesome. And we had just somebody say, hey, how can I improve my listening skills?
Great question.
That is a great question.
And it could go so many ways.
I know.
So if you are talking about English listening skills, so if English is a foreign language for you, one thing that we recommend is listening to general conference talks in English with subtitles on, so you can both hear and read the English at the same time. Watching movies with the English subtitles on is also really helpful.
Those are all any kind of media consumption that you can do.
Music,
audiobooks, podcasts. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Yeah.
Except I know that we talk fast, and we have been told that we talk fast, and we apologize. It's because we want to get through all the questions.
Excited.
Okay, this question has to do with switching over to the 3-year degree. So, hey, I've received 2 certificates so far. Is it possible for me to do the new 3-year degree for a bachelor's program?
Awesome. So there's going to be some different options. So we recommend that you go to byupathway.edu/degree-in-3. So depending on how many electives you may have already taken or how many credits you transferred in as electives, it might be more beneficial to stay with the 120 credit degree. But if you really focused in on your certificates and your general education, it might be faster and best for you to switch to this 3-year degree program.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the URL on the screen. And then this is what the page is going to look like. It's going to give you some more information about kind of the degrees and kind of the options. So,
yep. And you can, there's an FAQ or frequently asked questions link on that page as well. So you can sort of see, is this the best option for me?
Perfect. And I think we might have caught up, Brooke. I think there might be one more here. The classes that auto-populate when I go to register, are those the required ones in Degree Planner?
Yes. So if your degree planner is showing you, hey, here are the classes that are on your degree path on your map, those ones are ones that are required for what you are registered for.
Awesome. Okay, Brooke, I think we caught up. Thank you everyone for joining us. You can rewatch this on Facebook and YouTube.
Yep.
If you have any questions, put them in the direct messages. Our team is really active there and can help answer questions and help escalate a lot of things.
Yes.
And we would just love to help. That's our favorite thing to do, is just to help people understand and get enrolled. So thank you, everyone. We will see you later.
Good to see you.